NCAA basketball totals for Sunday, December 4th. We're rolling right along right now in our NCAA totals. We were 2-1 yesterday. Currently, we're standing at 46 and 34. NBA, not so much. We're about 500 on our NBA totals. Be sure to check out that segment as well. And don't forget to check out SBR for all the odds, lines, sign up bonuses, all that good stuff is at SBR. Not a huge card, huge slate of games today, and several early ones. So be sure to catch some early action if you're not watching any NFL, of course. But there's pretty good value out there, I think. So let's go ahead. Let's jump right in. The first game we're going to look at is Marquette and Georgia. One of the earlier games right here. I think it's kind of a low total, 145.5 set by odds makers, but I'm going to go ahead and go under. These are two underrated defenses, although Marquette likes to go really fast. That's a good Marquette team. As well, something to be mentioned, this is Marquette's first true road game, and Georgia's no joke. So I like for this to be a little bit, they're going to score, but I like the defenses to come up and play on this early Sunday game, and for this to stay under that 145.5. It actually looks to me a little bit low when you just break down some numbers. I mean, let's look at Marquette recently. I mean, their last three games, especially, they're scoring 90 points or more. I mean, against some really lower competition, and Houston Baptist, they go super fast. Georgia, they've been no slouch either as far as scoring. They're getting up down the floor a little bit, but when they faced, higher tiered teams, and Marquette will be, one of the better teams they've played so far. This year, probably the third best team. When they play like Kansas and Clemson, we saw totals a little bit more reasonable. So I think that's what we're going to see in this matchup. Right now, we got Marquette. They're playing really well offensively and defensively. Actually, they're averaging 86.7 points per game. And Georgia's averaging just 70. But look at the defensive numbers here. Georgia is allowing just 65.8 points per game. That's good. Marquette's allowing 68.4. That's good as well. Those are two talented teams. I like the statistics though here because Marquette, they can shoot the three. They're averaging over 38% from distance. But Georgia's been great defending from the perimeter, outside the perimeter, 31.5%. That's good as well. Marquette's a little bit better offensively across the board. They're shooting 50% overall. That ranks 12th in the country, 50.6%. But Georgia's allowing just 40% overall shooting from the floor. So some pretty good numbers right there. Marquette likes to go pretty fast, but I think Georgia's going to be able to control the pace. As well, Georgia's not a really elite offensive team, and 145.5, that's a lot of points. Right now, they're shooting just 29% from distance. They're one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country right now, percentage-wise. And overall, they're shooting just 43.6%. Marquette's defending 40.6% overall. That's also decent. So they're going to have a pretty good pace, but I think ultimately we're going to see a final ending up closer around 130, between 135 and 140. I don't think it's going to get to 145.5, so I'm going to back the under here on Marquette and Georgia, which is arguably going to be the best game of the day. All right, next one up we got is Niagara and Iona. This is a really big total considering how they played last year. They played well under this total. Odds makers have it at 147.5. I think that's mostly predicated on the fact that Iona likes to go fast and they're at home. And I'm going to go and take a shot on the over here. Niagara is not particularly good, but they've been competitive. They're not getting blown out except for, what was their worst game of the year? Actually, they really haven't been getting blown out at all. So I expect them to be competitive. They're staying within 10 points or less. They're better than last year. They've been really, really bad. They're still picked last in the Metro Atlantic, but they're supposed to be better this year. They got 3 starters back. They got a couple good transfer. One freshman, particularly from Division II, who I think he led freshmen in scoring for Division II basketball, and then he transferred to Niagara. I don't recall his name. So they got some scores. I think they're going to be able to score with an Iona team that likes to get up and down. Now, I had the under with Iona and St. Peter's, and Iona, it seems like they go into another gear now. They're in league play, and they're really going to start pushing it. I mean, look at their last 3 games here, 79 points, 75 points, 76 points. They're getting after it, and now they're at home. This is going to be fast. Iona loves to get up and down the floor. Right now, they're getting up, that's Niagara. Iona's getting up over 61 attempts per game. Niagara's not bad, though. They're getting up over 59. Iona's allowing 57, and Niagara's allowing over 60. Now, shooting-wise, Niagara's not that good, and Iona's not that great either. But they are shooting about 44%, which is about the middle of NCAA basketball. They are shooting the 3, though, 36.8% from distance, and they love to shoot it. They're averaging 28.5 attempts per game. That ranks 11th in the country, and they're averaging 10.5 of those, making those per game, which ranks 10th. Niagara cannot defend the 3 either. I mean, they're allowing, opponents to go ahead right now to shoot about 33%. That's not that good. They can also shoot the 3 themselves at 36, 36.5%. A little worse than Iona, but not much. They don't get up quite as many attempts. Right now, you got Niagara scoring 74 points per game. Iona scoring 74 points per game. There's our over total right there. But look at their defense. Iona's allowing 72.5 points per game. Now, Iona's kind of in a rebuilding year, but they're still going to push tempo. Niagara, they're allowing 78.6 points per game. Iona's going to score a lot tonight. I think can Niagara keep up? That's the issue. I think they can. So I think it's going to end up about 150 or more. So I'm going to take over that 147.5 with Niagara and Iona. Some Metro Atlantic action there. Last one up, we got David in College of Charleston. I really like this Davidson team. Bob McKillop, such an underrated coach, very, very good. He's not well known because, it's in North Carolina. But you got guys there by the name of Roy Williams and some Coach K guy. So not a lot of people know about him, but he's starting to get better known over these last several years as that Davidson program is just becoming no joke. And they're tough in the Atlantic 10. Odds makers have us at 128. I'm going under. And that's because College of Charleston is super slow and Davidson can play some defense. Davidson has loved to push the tempo. Now, against Mercer, their last game, they ended up 78-57. We had the under on that. Okay, so that was 135 as a final. This is at 128. College of Charleston actually goes slower than Mercer. They're a really, really slow team. And I think because they're at home, they're going to be able to control the tempo just a little bit. Davidson, they're averaging 76.5 points per game. College of Charleston just 62.8. And if they're going to hang with Davidson, they're going to have to slow it down and play great defense. If they try to get up and down with Davidson, Davidson's going to win by over 10. College of Charleston, this is what I like. They're allowing 63 points per game. Davidson, not bad at all, 66.3. Good defenses there. Well-coached teams on the defensive end. Davidson, they're shooting 43.4% overall. They love to shoot the three. They're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Attempt-wise, they're one of the highest attempts at over 30 per game. They're ranked 5th, and they knocked down 10, which ranks 18th. However, College of Charleston, they're pretty good across the board. They allow opponents to shoot just over 30% from distance. Very good. As well, College of Charleston, they just can't score. They're shooting 38.5% from the floor. That's one of the worst in NCAA basketball. And Davidson's been very good. Opponents are shooting just 37% against them. That's 16th in the country. So two good defenses I think are going to shine. Attempts, Davidson wants to get up and down. Charleston doesn't. And I think how it's going to end up tonight. I think it's going to be a battle. If Charleston plans on pulling the upset, they're going to have to play great defense and slow it down. I think that's what they do to stay under this 128. That's a really low total, but I think they stay under. All right, so quick recap. We got Marquette and Georgia under the 145.5. Niagara, Iona, over the 147.5. And Davidson and College of Charleston under the 128. Those are our 3 college basketball plays. Be sure to check out SBR, all the odds. Check out our NBA segment. And I wish you guys luck on all your picks today.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.